Welcome back to heaven, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Cricket for Americans, Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
And if you remember, Gabe, it wasn't too long ago I did a solo review of one of the matches with West Indies and ODI. And I had said the best medicine for a struggling team is to invite the West Indies over to your home grounds and play them. Now, nothing but respect. I know you already disliked me, West Indies fans, and I dislike myself, but I couldn't help myself. We got a whitewash series here. Dr. Jihan, are you paying attention to this? Whitewash series, baby. 3 ODIs, 3 T20s between India and West Indies, and we're going to talk about it here on another. Is this an R3 Wickets or a Cricket Convos? It's a whole tour.
I would say it's a whole tour, so we're probably going to make this Cricket Convos.
Cricket Convos. Ooh. And Gabe is, oh man, he's good thing he's not in the same room with me right now because I'd be punched 3 times already. We're going to be talking about this tour. We're going to be talking about our thoughts, our impressions. And I just want to start off because I know once Gabe gets going, there's just no way I'm going to be able to stop him. Let me just start off by saying we understand. I understand. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I understand that playing in India is a super difficult thing to do. We understand that West Indies, they're trying to find themselves right now and figure out what's going on, and Gabe will get into that. But I am very, very happy with in Rohit we trust, okay? Rohit Sharma did a fantastic job, specifically in these T20 matches that he was captaining, because there was some close matches. They weren't all blowouts. They weren't all, slobber knockers or whatever. There was some close matches, and I believe that his captaincy, coupled obviously with the great play of the players and whatnot, really helped bring that whitewash home in that T20 series. But I just want to start off with that because I'm a huge Rohit fan of his captaincy, and I think it really shone in brightly here with these last 3 matches. But Gabe, how are you doing, and where are we going in this conversation, my friend?
Nick, it's a tough situation, and I guess this is where I want to start. What I want to start with is talking about. This is R3 Wickets, Cricket Combo, same difference. But what I want to talk about is the issues with the West Indies, okay? Because you're right, there were some close matches here. And I think that what upset me is that I don't see a repair. I really don't, okay? And what I mean by that is that the West Indies in 2 games, I mean, there's no easy fix right now. There's no quick fix. Let's just be real with it. And the West Indies needs to realize that and realize where the deficiencies were. Okay, everybody's gonna look at this and say, oh, especially the T20 series, there was a whitewash, right? But one game came down to 8 runs. We're talking about the game prior to this. Okay, West Indies lost by 8 runs, and this one they ended up losing by, I think it was like 17 runs or something like that. But much closer than it pretends to be. But this is what people aren't paying attention to. Okay, Nick, the West Indies held down India in the 14th over. It was 93 for 4. 93 for 4. 15th over, and we're talking about the 30-20 match, it was 98 for 4, right? You got Sky and Venkatesh Iyer up. By the way, both not out. Nick, in the death, they went from 98 for 4 to 184. 184 for 5. Actually, they lost 1 wicket. That can't happen in the death. That I don't care what you do. All right. They did well in the first 15 overs and keeping down the runs. They did well not really getting destroyed on the power play. But the biggest issues with the West Indies right now is they don't have death bowlers, right? Their best bowlers at the moment are their best death bowler, I should say, at the moment is Jason Holder, and he's an all-rounder. Okay, and this is a bigger symptom. I want to talk about what's going on with the West Indies, but Dwayne Bravo, not there. Okay, they don't have another guy who you can put in the death and say, yes, I trust you. And Ramiro Shepherd got destroyed in the death. Okay, yeah. Again, Ramiro Shepherd, another guy that's more of an all-rounder, and you don't got that go-to guy. You just don't, Nick, and it's so frustrating that's the case. It's so frustrating that that's the case. I think it was in the second one where the West Indies only lost by 8 runs right in that last over, and I thought that West Indies had a chance to win that game. It was the same thing. They kept India down to a low total, but they gave it away in the death, Nick. They gave it away in the death, and I think that that's the story of this series, is the death bowling for the West Indies. And I think a bigger issue, a conversation I want to have later on, is why is it that the best, even Dwayne Bravo is really an all-rounder. He's considered an all-rounder. Why is it that the best bowlers for the West Indies, somebody in our chat yesterday were talking about it, and they said, oh yeah, best death bowlers the West Indies have is Andre Russell, another all-rounder. Now I'm going to posit my theory on that, but that's the issue. They don't got guys that are dedicated solely to just death bowling and working on that craft. And the reality is, death bowling is a craft. It's something that you have to focus on. You cannot focus on anything else, Nick. You just can't. And I want to kind of throw it back to you, but last thing I want to say in that second ODI match, because just so you guys can see that these games were much closer than people want to admit that they were. The West Indies were in the 15th over. What was it? It was 110 for going after the 14th over. In the death, once again, West Indies gets smacked and ends up giving up 186. So what was that? 76 runs in one game, 85 in one game, 86 in the death. You can't do that, Nick. You can't do that. And the biggest issue is the death bowling. So, I mean, I want to hear your thoughts, man.
Well, you bring up a great point about the bowling. You can't give up 186 runs and not think about the bowling. The Indian bowling, they gave 167 that last game as well. So, and what was that one match? That one match they gave up 178, the second T20. So it's not like these grounds were holding in the runs. But I'll take it one step further. You talk about death bowling. My question for you is, who is the West Indies? And we'll talk about T20 right now, or limited overs format. Who is the West Indies dominant bowler? Bowler, not all rounder. Who is the guy that, as a West Indian fan, you're like, yes, we have this guy, we have a chance, or we have these guys, we have a chance. Could be a spinner, it could be a pace bowler, but who is that guy who is primarily a bowler that people got to fear?
That's the problem. They don't have one.
Exactly.
Honestly, it was Sheldon Cottrell, and he's out of form now.
Cottrell, the power play. Yep.
In the power play, but they don't have one. And the issue is that the majority of the West Indies bowlers, and it's talking about culture, right? Coming up through the circuit, don't just focus on bowling. All right. And this is the argument and the analysis that I've made. Even the fans will tell you, oh yeah, Andre Russell is the best bowler. All-rounder? Again, Dwayne Bravo, legendary wicket taker for West Indies, right? Death bowler, another quote unquote all-rounder. Jason Holder, probably their most consistent guy right now, all-rounder. The West Indies focus on that because all-rounders, let's be real, get paid. All right. Look at what just happened with Glenn Maxwell last year in the IPL. All right. They get paid. And in the limited format domestic tournaments, which is where players go to play to make that money. All right. Whether it's the BBL, the IPL, the CPL, now we got the 100. All rounders are valued. So I think that the West Indies, the players from the West Indies, all focus on that all rounding skill as opposed to just bowling. And is it nice to have a bowler that can put up some runs? Yes. But you want a bowler that's consistent and spends the majority of their time on the craft of bowling, in the nets. And I just don't see that for their guys. And then the other guys they have, their best spinner is like Akil Hussain. All right, I'll take Akil Hussain. He's a consistent spinner. But that can't be your frontline guy. That can't, because you're not putting a spinner in the death. You're not putting a spinner in the death. You know what I'm saying, Nick? So for me, it's just a problem that's not easily fixable. Right now, we don't have, to your point, we don't have that dominant bowler, whether it's a power play bowler or opening bowler or even a depth specialist. We just don't have it because our guys focus on being all-rounders, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. I want to switch gears a little bit to the Indian side because as I'm watching the streams that I was not a part of or I was watching the games, I feel like there's two guys that you were not too impressed with. All right. We'll start with the obvious one, Ishin Kishin. All right. Everyone was crushing. It was his fault that Rohit chose to put him and Guy Quad in the opening partnership. And it's his fault that Rohit, who came at number 4, had a low strike rate and wasn't able to do too much. Is she Kishin's fault for everything? Is it his fault for global warming? Is it his fault for the pandemic? Is it his fault that we have kids starving all over the world? I mean, gosh, geez Louise. I understand he did not have a high strike rate in that third match, but I saw a lot of improvement from Ishin Kishin. And listen, let's be honest, okay? We have guys on this Indian squad in this third T20 match that have more time playing cricket on a video game than the international side, for crying out loud. And what they do, they still got the whitewash, right? I'm actually more excited about Ishin Kishin after this series than I was beforehand, because this guy's got a lot. He's got a lot of growing up to do, right? What's with the young wicket keepers for India? You got Pant, you got Ishin Kishin. I mean, you don't trust these guys with curfew, for crying out loud. I mean, Pant's more famous in that before he became captain of the IPL for his photo bombing skills of Ricky Ponting than anything else. But Ishin Kishin, did he not get those catches when he was wicketkeeper? I believe he did. He came in 34 on 31 runs. He was the most successful before Sky came on the site, baby. A big reason why they were 93 is because the opening batsman struggled to get anything going. You didn't have a Virat Kohli in that last match. But I was very encouraged. Does he have lots of room to grow? Absolutely. But he's got to get this exposure. And as much as Gabe and I are questioning the West Indies bowling, let's not fool ourselves. Rohit Sharma said himself, West Indies can still bowl and they can still bat. They're still a challenge. They're not a walk-on. They're not a walkover. And I think even Gabe would admit that, as frustrated as he is right now with the output. They're not, you know, I don't want to crush a team, but they're not a lesser team by any means. Right. The other was Harsha Patel. Harsha Patel, Purple Patel, baby. Everyone was like, oh, RCB overpaid. 1 year fluke, 1 year wonder. That was in the UAE. What did you guys forget that half of the season of the IPL was in India, for crying out loud, right? This guy went on leaps and bounds last year in the IPL and he impressed. And we've been told, Gabe, the IPL is not the international squad. Can you tell me all the guys that are on the A and the B squads right now for India? How many of them were farmed from Mumbai Indians alone, for crying out loud? Don't tell me that the IPL does not matter. This guy came in, international side for India, and from my count in 2 matches, he got himself 5 wickets. That's my count. From my count, he started off this third match 2 for 7, or 7 runs, 2 wickets. This guy was a monster, for crying out loud. And I think he dropped one of his own catches. He could have had a 4-wicket haul or something like that. This guy, I'm so happy for him. First of all, because I'm an RCB fan, and I can breathe a sigh of relief. This guy's not a one-hit wonder. But I love his story, because if he continues to perform like this, he's been around for a while in the IPL. He's not a brand new guy, and he has developed his craft. He has it's like a Siraj almost. He has put together himself some, we got to give some credit to Virat Kohli. Being around a guy like Virat Kohli, being around a guy with his pedigree, with his experience, is going to rub off on some of the guys that he's with. And how many guys? Washington Sundar, Siraj, now Purple Patel, all these bowlers, even though Kohli is, a batsman. I know he can spin a little bit, but let's be serious. It's rubbing off on him. And I'm really happy that Purple Patel was able to bring those wicket-taking skills here in the international side. Super excited for that. I already mentioned Rohit, fantastic captaincy in both of these series. You feel like, what was the match that we were watching? I can't remember if it was an ODI match or the first T20 match. There was a match where it was looking rough, and he was bringing in questionable bowlers, right, near the death. What are you doing? Why are you bringing this guy? You're wasting this guy's over. What? Was it not the most? It was Washington Sundar. Was it not the most beautiful decision of all time? This guy knows what buttons to push, for crying out loud.
Rohit Sharma, we got a new name for him, Nick, okay? CFA starts it first because he's very unconventional. We shall call him the gambler, because you're right. Everybody in the chat was like, wait, he's going to run out of overs. He's going to run out of overs. What's he doing? No, you got to play a spinner. You can't let these guys put to death. What are you doing, Rohit? And Rohit's like, I got this. I think that's the kind of guy he is. I got this. Look. He goes in and pushes in his whole stack and all chips. all in. We're going to call him the gambler. Because I remember that match, and I was like, he's going to run out of overs. It was in the ODI match, because guys can only go 10 overs. And I'm doing the math. I'm like, he's going to have to go with these, all-rounder spinners. And of course, they make him look good. I don't know what it is. Everything the guy touches, let him buy crypto. I'm going to start following Rohit Sharma to follow his crypto advice. He could wake up in the morning and say, I think I'm going to buy Dogecoin. Dogecoin's going to explode. I think I'm going to buy AMC and stuff. I don't know, Nick. It shouldn't work, but it does. It's so frustrating. It's like every move he makes is right, while every move Pollard makes is wrong. It's so frustrating.
I want the haters. I want the haters in the comment section to tell me what problem did you have with Rohit's captaincy, with his captaincy in these 6 matches. 6 matches, 6 wins, coming off a struggling series tour of South Africa. What was the thing? And it's going to be like, he didn't clip his fingernails close enough or something like that. Like, what was the issue here, right?
I don't know. This guy as a white ball captain is amazing, and he does get a lot of flack and a lot of hate. And maybe it's because he does things unconventionally, and everybody's armchair coaching and armchair captaining. No, what are you doing? You're gonna run out of overs. You're gonna have these guys bowling in the Rohit's like, I got this. Just pushing his chips all in. It reminds me from Rounders, bro. He's just like,
oh yeah,
it's all
I love that movie.
Gambler.
If you're watching Rohit captain and you don't have him, you have his back, you're like this, freaking out. And then by the end of the match, you're like, yeah, that was a good move. I would have done that same thing. Liar. You guys were hitting the panic button 15 times, especially in that one match. Talk about Sky. I want to know this, because you always give me the props. You're humble in the way where you say, Nick, you mentioned Pont, now Boomerang. You've been calling for Sky. I remember, too, early on, we didn't even know who Sky was. You weren't even a Mumbai fan. You're like, this guy's trash. Who is this guy? For like 5 minutes. And then you quickly turned, and you've been his biggest supporter. You've been yelling at Team India on our channel for not selecting this guy. And he goes out and wins man of the series, man of the match. What's it about Sky that you love and that you noticed early on?
Here comes the hate. Here comes the comment section. He's Virat Kohli light. Look at his bro. He's Virat Kohli light in the white ball game. Watch how effortlessly he's able to just, hit a boundary with a flick of the wrist or that cover drive. There's guys that are good at doing what they're gonna do, whether it's a pull shot, but he's got all the shots. And the reason is that Sky doesn't got better numbers, Nick, is because he bats so lower in the order. But he's a perfect finisher. And to go back to your point, why I don't like Ishan Kishan versus Sky, in my opinion, won the first and third game, or helped win that first and third T20 series. You know what his strike rate was? 188 in that first one, 209 in the second one. Your boy Ishan Kishan in that first match, he put up 35 runs. 83 strike rate in tests. 35 or 42 as an opener ain't getting it done, cousin. All right, I get it. He's a left-handed batsman, wicketkeeper. That's why they're backing him, but he's not getting it done. Sky scores effortlessly. Nick, 209 strike rate in that third one. 65 off of 31. In the same 31 balls, Ishan Kishan, 34 runs. Barely over 100 strike rate. That's the difference. And if you look at him, put masks on, all right? He is Virat Kohli light. If you didn't have a name on the back of the jersey, and they could play what's that called? Remember when the girls were switching each other and the Olsen twins? What was that called? Parent Trap or whatever.
Trap?
Whatever, they were pretending to be
Lindsay
each other.
Lohan, yeah.
Now, of course, this guy's a little bit taller than Virat Kohli or whatever. But I'm saying the way they attack the ball, he's Virat Kohli light, and I'm like, this guy's amazing. Why don't people give him more love? Sky is an absolute savage with the bat. He didn't get discovered. I mean, he just made his debut on the Indian international team when we started watching cricket, bro. He's 30. He made his debut at 30. He's like 31 years old. Unfortunately, his career is going to be cut short because at 35, everybody starts wearing down. That's when the body starts breaking down. Not too many cricketers make it past 35. And I want him to get every single opportunity. But watch his cover drive. It's a thing of beauty. Watch his cover drive, bro. It's a thing of beauty. And he does it effortlessly. Like, okay, you want to bowl off stump to me? You want to bowl away from me? No problem. Boom. I hit that 4-4. Boom. I hit that 4-4. This guy's one of the only guys, I get chills thinking about it, that'll come in. He doesn't need an over to settle in. He doesn't need to. 4, 4, 6. I'll take a 2 guess right here. He is just that guy, and I think he's underrated, criminally underrated.
But you know what I love about Ishin Kishin, which is what I love about Rashad Pont? You need to have, you talk about gamblers. You need to have those guys that just, I don't care what conventional wisdom says. Do you remember that IPL match, the first season we watched, where he got his 99 and he was exhausted?
Yeah.
They had no business being in that game, and he took over. You need a guy to be a little unconventional. I'm telling you, I'm giving him the Nick stamp of approval. Watch out for this guy. Don't lose faith on Ishin Kishin. In about a year from now, if that, Gabe's going to say on this channel, you were right, man. This guy's amazing.
I mean, you were right about Pant.
But to have Sky and Ishin Kishin in there, which is going to be tough for both guys to get, right? But to have them both on the international team, when you have all your guys healthy, which is going to be really impossible, Sky will get the choice over Ishin Kishin, and I'm fine with that. You got to have a guy like Sky and a guy like Ishin Kishin. Having a guy like Sky allows Ishin Kishin to be himself and vice versa. So I'm excited for the future of Indian cricket. As always, they have a deep squad. But this series, when you have a captain that can, in adversity, you can steer the right course, and then that's better. That's awesome. But, I mean, I feel for the West Indies fans because they're struggling right now. And I'm not going to say they're not. I'm not going to say that they're not in a difficult transitional era right now in their cricket. And that definitely helped India quite a bit as well.
Let me answer your question right now. Harsha Patel has proved me wrong. You know who Harsha Patel is? He's Cliff Lee in baseball. He's a guy that doesn't necessarily do anything special. He's a guy that has come and had this explosion in the end of his career, towards the end, you know what I mean? He's a journeyman. He's been playing, like you said, in the IPL for a while. Nick, I still watch him and think, how does he get wickets? Some guys you watch and you're like, oh my God, that's a nasty ball. I would have been out there. You watch Boomerang and you're like, yeah, what are you going to do on that? That York is disgusting. He got the slower ball. He's very consistent on his line and lengths, but other than that, this guy is not special, and somehow he still takes wickets. I was wrong. He got a 3-wicket haul there at the end in yesterday, and I honestly that helped save the game for India, because West Indies looked like they had a chance to win it, and he snatched the victory from the West Indies. I just don't. My eyes tell me one thing, Nick, and the stats tell me another. My eyes tell me every time he's bowling, Nick, I'm not confident. I've seen this guy get pumped. I'm not confident. You shouldn't get out to that. Guys, what are you doing? But somehow he gets the wickets, bro. And it's just, I don't know I cannot put my finger on it. He does something that I still don't understand the nuance of what it is. And if you guys know in the chat, let me know. What is it that he does? Because he doesn't have express pace. Okay. So that's not why he's a death bowler. He doesn't have an unbelievable, like his balls don't swing, don't seem that. What is it? I don't get it, man. I don't. Guys, I'm being honest. In the chat, let me know. What am I missing? There's a nuance, Nick. I know I'm missing it. There's something he does that I can't pick it up, and that's why he gets wickets. But you can't tell me that this guy is as nasty as a Boomer with the Yorkers. He's not. You can't tell me he's got the kind of movement that a Lord Siraj has. He's not. That's why Lord Siraj is, because he doesn't have the best pace. But Lord Siraj, man, that ball moves. I don't know what it is that he does, man. And I was wrong. Eating crow, yum, 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 delicioso. The year of Gabe is over. I was wrong. And all I can say is, congratulations, Nick. Wow. Nick has been going to church. He's been paying his tithes because it's all coming up rosy for him. And I mean, yeah, dude, I don't know what else to say. I mean, maybe what am I missing? I don't get it, bro.
This is what Purple Patel does. He does this, baby, because he gets those wickets. He grabs those wickets, and I don't know. It's a great question. I'm not going to try to pretend or fake an answer. I have no idea. But I do know that you don't have success in anything without hard work, without sticking to it. This guy, he's an all-rounder, for crying out loud, no more for his bowling, especially as of late. This guy dominated in the IPL last year. We talk about 8 more wickets than the second-place guy who's not even close to him. This guy, hard work, determination, motivation, knowing who you are, being around good guys. Again, I'm going to give Virat Kohli a lot of credit. being around the right guys, and having that support system. And I absolutely love it. Do I think he's going to go on and have a career like Glenn McGraw? Probably not. The thing is about Harsha Patel is he can tend to be expensive, but remember, he's going to give you at least 2 overs in the death. You're gonna give up some runs, but you're going to get those wickets. And we saw this with IPL last year with RCB, and we're seeing it early on in this series with T20. His teammates are okay with him getting up some runs because they know he's going to get those valuable wickets. And he got 2 before the death in this last match, which is fantastic. But this series, we're not surprised by the outcome. All right. As a West Indies fan, you would have liked to have at least 1 or 2 wins. We're not surprised that India won the tour. It was unfortunate for West Indies fans that didn't get a win or a draw, or not a draw, a win or a super over or something like that. One got really close. But as an Indian fan, I'm very happy with where they're going, where they're moving forward. They got Sri Lanka, a few days after this last match, and they're already back with Sri Lanka. See what's going on there. That'll be a fun series. But I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm happy with a lot of the players. We didn't mention all the players. Shahar, Bhuvi had a nice resurgence in this series. It was good to see that. He saved that match. Shahal did fantastic. He was very consistent. Ravi Bishnoi, we didn't even mention him yet. This guy, we were so right. Everyone who doubted us, we were so right about him. He got man of the match in the first game. Venkatesh Iyer, I love this guy. And with the batting, he was able to prove that he can be a finisher in that last match. He got better and better and better. So many good things. But Deepak Chahar, this is maybe one thing I'm curious about Rohit Sharma or the selection committee. He went out because of injury in the second match. I'm surprised they even messed around with him in the third match, because then he got injured again. Did he not, Deepak Chahar?
Yep.
So
he left in the middle of the
maybe that was a little IPL move. Like, he plays for CSK. I captain the Mumbai Indians. I'm going to bring him back in there. I'm just kidding. But it's interesting that he came back because he didn't look right in the second match, and he definitely re-injured or did something in the third match. I hope he's okay. I hope it's something serious. But a lot of things to like as an Indian fan, for sure.
If you're a West Indies fan, I need you to be honest, and I need you to go back and look at what I'm saying. All right, guys. In this series, you know who was the leading wicket taker in this specific T20 series? Roston Chase, who is considered an all-rounder, right? He finally got dropped from the top 4 batting to the bottom because his bat wasn't carrying him. But Roston Chase, let that sink in. That's who got the most wicket in the T20 series. In the ODI series, you know who were the leading wicket takers? Jason Holder, another all-rounder, and then Odin Smith, another all-rounder. Guys, Nick's right. They don't have a frontline bowler. They don't have a Patty Cummings. They don't have a Boomer. They don't have a guy that's going to go in there and can get you those wickets in the power play or in the death. All their wickets are coming from all-rounders, and that's a problem. That is a structural thing, right, from the organization, where they're not developing just guys that are pure bowlers and that's their go-to. And I get it. Players want to pattern themselves in a fashion where they're going to get the most money abroad, right? Because they got to take care of their families or whatnot. So you've got to make sure, if you're the West Indies, that you're making it profitable for these bowlers to just focus on bowling and develop bowlers, whether it's getting them up to the national team or the international team, I should say, quicker. Something's got to give. Because going back, not just this series, people are going to say I'm losing my mind this series. Guys, go back a few years. All right? Everybody loves Andre Russell. Yeah, people in the comment, all-rounder. Same thing with Dwayne Bravo, all-rounder. The best West Indies guys are your all-rounders. And don't tell me the West Indies don't. Guys, it's about what you work on, all right? If you specifically work on bowling, there's only so many hours in a day, all right? If you become committed to it, you're going to improve way more than if you're splitting your time between the nets in bowling and batting. So for me, I think that was my takeaway in the series. Nick, I know that you love you some Ishan Kishan. I still say the kid is young. He's got to grow. But I back you more on Ishan Kishan because I do see the talent there. And as a left-handed batsman, he could be an opener because now you got that right-left combo. It's harder for bowlers now to, plan out their strategy. But, bro, I cannot back you on Harsha Patel. I'm wrong. I am completely admitting I'm wrong. And I just don't see what it is or how he does it. And again, let me know in the comments. But I think it was a great series for India. bad series for the West Indies, and I think the West Indies need to start changing things structurally from the top on, down. Okay, how are we going to make guys just focus on bowling? You want to make the national squad, you're bowling. You're not being an all-rounder. You're not dividing your time between the nets and batting and hitting. No, your job is to take wickets. You're going to be groomed as our power play, wicket taker. You're going to be groomed as our death specialist or whatever. And that's what needs to happen for the West Indies to have success in the future.
Talking about Purple Patel, the reason what I'm most excited about him is when you see an athlete who's been in a sport for a while get better with age, get better as they go along, I'll take that any day of the week over anyone else who has all the promise in the world because they're going to it. They're grinding day in and day out. Will it be a short career, a few years internationally? I don't know. But right now, I want this guy on my squad. I need this guy on my squad. But the problem is he's not going to be your first choice when you got all of your guys back there because you're not going to sit a Shami. You're not going to sit a Bumrah. You're probably not. I would even sit a Siraj for a Patel. But that'd be a conversation for a later time. Happy for all the guys. Happy for all the players. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening to us ramble about this series and this tour. And with all that being said, until next time.
That's 6 runs.